Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning into the North Main Minute. I'm Joshua Dobie. As we enter in a new season here, a new year as it is, crossing over from the holiday season and the New Year's holiday now in here to 2022. With some regularity, we're asked, well, what are your predictions for 2022? I'm going to start out with terrible answers. I don't have any idea. Neither does anybody else, for that matter. It's part of what makes life fun. But certainly I understand the spirit of the question, and folks, specifically when they're talking about the markets or about the financial universe, what do we see in terms of what's coming up for 2022? A lot of moving parts. We're not going to cover all of them right here, but there definitely have been some shifts or some changes here over the last several months, some of which we haven't seen economically for the better part of a decade or more. The first point, inflation and interest rates. Not going to get into the granular economics 101 aspect of those things, but understand that we are dealing with inflation and interest rates both increasing or rising in ways that we haven't seen in quite some time. And I literally mean a decade or more. What's that going to mean when it comes to inflation? Higher prices, unfortunately, a lot of instances, specifically for all of us here, when you go to the supermarket, when you go to the gas pump, you're probably going to see higher prices there, higher interest rates. Good possibilities, perhaps, if you are keeping savings in a bank account at some point later on this year. Not so good if you're trying to apply for financing or a mortgage, where we're starting to see interest rates rise there as well. We anticipate that those trends are going to continue. Second thing that we encourage folks to keep in mind, have more modest expectations as far as the stock market is concerned. I'm not saying that we're on a cliff of any kind, metaphorically or otherwise, with regards to stock market performance. We've just been above average here now for several years, and from a pure technical analysis standpoint, at some point we revert to the mean, or we have a reversion to the mean, and that would mean a pullback a little bit. Is that going to happen this year? Don't know, but important to keep that in mind, that certainly we could be due for that kind of thing sooner rather than later. Third big item, and it's relatively a short time into the new year, so I don't want to call this a trend yet, but we're definitely starting to see it in some notable ways here over the first several weeks, and that is a rotation in the stock market. Now, it may not be true for the stocks that you follow, for the funds that you have, or anything like that. Obviously, not specific to you. But what we're seeing in a broad-based sense is that, and this often happens, a lot of the things which worked last year, not working as well this year. Last year and the year before it, a lot of big tech stocks, a lot of technology companies that did very, very well, and a whole bunch of those not doing so well this year. Interestingly, at the same time, a whole lot of things which were largely out of favor for a significant portion of the last couple of years coming back into sometimes what we call the value end of the stock universe. So very interesting to see that. At least at this point, it seems like that's going to continue, but you know how this works. There can be a lot of changes throughout the year, and it's important to make sure that your portfolio can weather all of it. If you'd like to reach out to us, perhaps take a look at what 2022 looks like for you, how your portfolio is positioned in order to be able to be broadly diversified, to take advantage of possibilities, but also to protect on that downside. We'd love to hear from you. NorthMainFinancial.com.